You're listening to a production of SportsLink Digital Radio.
It's night 2 in a row in Worthen Arena for Ball State men's volleyball. Night 2 for the Cardinals. Last night, they defeated the Lise McRae Bobcats. Today's opponent is the Maryville Saints. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. I am your play-by-play announcer today, Tyler Klimes, joined by Sam Egan. Sam, great to have you here today.
Great to be here, Tyler. I'm really excited. Dollar Dog Night. The vibes are high here at Worthen, and hopefully the Cardinals are excited to pull off maybe another W.
You know what's better than $1 hot dog?
Free dog.
Oh, yeah, that too. That is. But also some men's volleyball action, which we'll be getting tonight. And like I mentioned last night, Ball State had a good match. They came out against Lise McRae, played well, played some freshmen, some young players out there, and had a good night. What did you see from the Cardinals just 24 hours ago?
You mentioned those freshmen. Saw a lot of positive things with that Ball State depth. We've preached on it all year. That's why they had that preseason 5th ranking. The depth that they have on this team is one of the best in the country. And we saw it last night with some of their freshmen, with Ryan Lewis, and even some of their underclassmen as well. Ryan Bartz, a sophomore out of Wisconsin. He had a big night last night as well, with 9 digs, 5 blocks, and 6 kills. So you saw a lot from your youth, a lot from your depth. There's a lot to like from that Ball State team, and hoping to feed off that momentum here tonight against a better Maryville team.
Yeah, it's a match that can just help instill confidence moving forward. Ball State has that early on. Before that, they had lost 3 straight matches and then came in last night and got the job done. So they are looking good right now. On the other side for the Maryville Saints, they're 0-2 up to this point, but that doesn't really say much. Why is that, Sam?
They've played 2 ranked teams, not just 2 ranked teams, 2 MIVA ranked teams as well. They've had probably one of the toughest non-conference schedules, one of the toughest non-conference schedules in the country, if not the toughest, facing those 2 ranked teams in Loyola and Lewis, both on the road. And Loyola, they took to 4 sets at Gentile Arena, one of the toughest places to play in college volleyball. So they made it competitive. They've found a lot that they'd like to see so far from a squad that isn't as high as a level as this Ball State team, and they're hoping to at least make it a competitive game like they did against Loyola in the last go-around.
Those 2 matches you mentioned that they've played so far, against Lewis and against Loyola Chicago. Lewis ranked 13th right now in the nation. Loyola ranked 8th. So 2 top 15 teams they've gone up against. And they
top 10 team to 4 sets. I mean, that says a lot about the program. They're hoping to do it again today against another top 10 team.
It really does. They're a relatively young program, and we'll dive into that as we get on with this. But they're young in their season. They've only played those 2 matches that we've mentioned compared to Ball State's 7th. Maryville's going into their 3rd match. Ball State going into their 8th. A lot more experience on the Cardinals side of things. How much does that play a factor tonight?
Oh, it's a vital factor, especially the fact that they haven't played in 13 days. I mean, it really says a lot. I mean, not just playing the 2 games. They had 1 game canceled. That was going to be their home opener against Kentucky State, and they're hoping they were going to kick off their season on the right foot, at least at home, and as well at least to get a win on the stat board, and although make their record look a little bit better than it was coming into Muncie here today.
Yeah, it really does make an impact, and I think we're going to see it early on in this one, as where it's really going to start to make an impact, and I think we'll see Maryville start to come back into the game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, anyone's going to start slow after 13 days of rest. And I know that's unconventional for them, but having those 13 days of rest, it's just going to make them come out a little bit flat, a little bit slow, and unfortunately, you can't have that when you're facing off against a top 10 team in the country. I mean, with Loyola, they took it to 4 sets because they had just 1 day of rest. They were kind of in the swing of things, in the groove. They were starting to play their better volleyball and starting to really get into a nice groove that they wanted to feed off of for the rest of the season. And then they had that long, unexpected break.
And the Cardinals rarely ever come out flat. That's because of their depth in the roster, like we talked about, and they've just got some great starters as well. Who's one of the standouts for you on the side of the Cardinals that we should keep an eye on for tonight?
I think for the 7th-ranked Cardinals, you have to keep an eye on number 7. That is Rajay Aline, the transfer senior from Quincy, and he has been unbelievable for this Cardinals team. Already first-team All-MIVA heading into the season from last year's season at Quincy, and he's only fed off of those numbers, being the Cardinals leader in kills with 68 of them this season, and probably would have a lot more if he actually played last night.
Yeah, that's 68 kills without playing last night. Just goes to show all the more impressive from Rajay Aline. Some impressive players on the other side for some different reasons. Who should we look out for the Saints?
I think for the Saints, you got to go for Makai Scott. He is a guy that is impressive, only a sophomore as well, so very young into that program. And he's a guy that maybe Coach Cruz could keep an eye on in the transfer portal because he's got some serious talent leading that Maryville Saints team. And granted, small sample size, 30 kills, averaging 4.5 kills per set. He's been doing some really good stuff in his shortened sample size season. 15 kills in each of his 2 matches so far, and it's not just that he gets up to the net and gets those kills. He digs out those tough balls that are looking like guaranteed points for the opposition, and as well, just he can pass the ball if you need him to as well. He just flies all over the court, and we mentioned has some serious hops and a little bit deceptive standing at that 6-foot frame. Kind of reminds me of Keone Thib from BYU, who we saw last week.
Yeah, and that just goes to show the recruiting, right? A 6-foot guy that you go out and find, but you say, oh, he can really play. It's a talent evaluator from Mike Haston, the head coach of Maryville. He's been good all around. He's been around volleyball for a long time. In his 4th season as the head coach for Maryville, what can you say about Coach Haston?
He's been an incredible coach in his 4th year here, and last year had his best year not only as a coach but in program history, going 21-8, a 51-39 record career at Maryville. Obviously a young program, only in their 4th season. So he's their inaugural coach, and before that he was the coach, or the assistant coach I should say, for their women's volleyball team. So a very experienced coach in the volleyball realm, especially there in Maryville, Missouri, and he's made sure to bring a lot of those hometown kids, those Missouri kids, back home, and it's been really impressive to see what he's done not only at Maryville but at Fonbonne University, where he's their program's all-time winningest coach as well, 51-29 record in his final 3 seasons.
Tough to surpass that resume, but if there is one coach that could do it, it's probably the head coach on the other side of things for the Cardinals in Donan Cruz.
I mean, what can't you say about the other 4th-year coach on the other side, Donan Cruz? I mean, there's not much more a coach can say on the resume than having a National Coach of the Year honor, and Coach Cruz has done that in his first year in Muncie. No one can forget that Final Four run they went on just 3 years ago. Hoping to replicate that here this year. Says they may have a better squad than that 2022 squad, so they're hoping those Final Four ambitions come true. Coach Cruz, the Graceland University alum, not only very successful at Ball State, but has been successful at the national realm as well, being a coach for the national collegiate team for Team USA, a 277-79 an all-time coaching record, and has won numerous national championships at the NAIA level before Ball State.
2 resumes of great coaches and 2 teams that are looking to continue to be on the right track early on in the NCAA season. We're about to go to the national anthem here in Worthen Arena, so we will take a quick break, but stay tuned because on the other side of SportsLink Digital Radio, we will bring you this epic matchup between the Ball State Cardinals and the Maryville Saints. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
For the best stories, access, and coverage of Ball State sports, follow SportsLink on social media platforms Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Search @BSU SportsLink.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Your home for live Ball State sports, streaming right in your timeline.
This is SportsLink Digital.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, Papergo toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
SportsLink is the official production partner of Ball State Athletics.
All the chirp you can handle.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday. Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesweets.hamptoninn.com. At munciesweets.hamptoninn.com.
Indiana's top sports media school in 2024 by the Indiana Association of School Broadcasters.
This is Ball State Sports Link.
Welcome back to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. We are just 3 minutes away from the first serve of tonight's men's volleyball matchup between the Ball State Cardinals and the Maryville Saints. Both teams getting ready to get their starting lineups going through the handshake line right now. Sam, should be a very exciting one. I'm Tyler Klimes, joined by Sam Egan on today's edition of SportsLink Digital Radio. We talked about it in our pre-match show about what we should look out for tonight, what both teams are doing so far into the season. What's something that you're just looking forward to the most to see on the court tonight?
I think a matchup that I'm just looking forward to seeing tonight is the return of Kevin Durant back to Muncie. Spent his first 2 seasons in college volleyball here at Ball State, only playing a few games with the Cardinals. One of them came against this Maryville Saints team, had a block in that ball game. So really excited to see if he gets some time here today back in Muncie in his homecoming. After his 2 years in Muncie, a little bit of an interesting career path for him. Went to the University of Alabama, finished out his education, but also on top of that, played club volleyball for 2 years at Alabama, kept the skills replenished, and felt that he was ready to get back in the NCAA and play at Maryville for his grad senior season.
Yeah, he's just been a guy that has been everywhere. Ball State fans may have known the name, played here from 2021 to 2022. So we'll see if he starts and gets out there for them. And as time goes on right now, the Maryville lineups being read. So let's talk a little bit about this team as we get those lineups going. On the Maryville Saints side of things, we talked about them being 0-2, but what's something about them that just looks different to you when you watch them on the court?
I think the thing that stands out to me is just how impressive they are at digging out tough balls. I mean, they are one of the best teams in the country in digs in that statistic, so I think their ability to just fly around the court, and when you think you have an easy point against the Saint team, they come out and make a miraculous save. The only counter to that is they have one of the lower numbers in kills per set, so we'll see how that counters in here today.
As you were just saying that, looked out to the starting lineups, is confirmed that Kevin Durant will at least be out there for the start. He may switch with the libero as things go on, but Durant currently on the court, so we will get some Ball State similarities in this one early on as the lights dim for the home squad. Ball State Cardinals about to get things going. The SportsLink intro video playing in arena at the moment, meaning we are just about ready to get things underway. All the players watching, looking up at the board in the wonderful environment of Worthen Arena. What can you say about the environment in these games in Muncie?
Oh, these games in Muncie are unbelievable. We saw it last week with the BYU game. 2,000 plus people here each night, and you could just feel the energy from both sides here in Worthen Arena. Right now, just everyone mesmerized by the intro video, including Charlie Cardinals. So just the vibes in here are always high, and when you get to watch a top 10 team in the country, you just have that feeling, that ambition that just fires you up, and you're ready to watch some really good volleyball.
Now, how lucky is Charlie Cardinal? He gets to watch every single one of these matches all year long.
Best seat in the house, too.
Yeah, best seat in the house, right by the court. But it really is awesome to see all the fans tonight. It's a Friday night, obviously, and people have not as much to do, so come out and watch volleyball as you do in Muncie, as the tradition goes.
It's a massive tradition here in Muncie. As the weather gets colder, it gets warmer inside Worthen, and it starts to pack more and more, and we're starting to see that here with Cardinal fans as the intro video just about wraps up.
Closed up with Rajay Ali, the impact player on the Cardinal side of things today, saying let's go. This is a team that has come into the season with high expectations, currently sitting at number 7 in the nation. We're higher up at points in the season, hoping to just continue to get back to where they were, and that's not a crazy thing to expect.
No, it's not. I mean, they played really competitive with the BYU team that's top 5 in the country, took them to 5 sets both times, and it looked like both those games were winnable. So you get later in the season, you end up winning those games, and all you got to do is just keep winning. You keep winning, you keep winning. Eventually the teams in front of you are going to start losing, and you're going to get to that 5 spot that you want to be at to start the year. But you obviously, by the end of the season, you want to be one of those final 4. How do you get there? You win the MIVA tournament. You just want to be playing your best volleyball towards the end of the year when you get into the MIVA tournament, because last year Cardinals weren't at their hottest when it got to the MIVA tournament, and it bit them with a massive upset against Lindenwood.
It all does start now. Every match is about setting the tone, and that includes tonight for the Cardinals. This is a Maryville team that is sneaky good. They have been hanging in there with top-ranked teams in the country, have played a lot of MIVA teams and a lot of ranked teams in just their 4-year history, although their 4th year now. We are seeing the Ball State regular starters coming out tonight, so they're taking this one seriously.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is a Maryville team you can't take lightly at all. Ball State sees that they won a set against Loyola, who's a top 10 team in the country as well. They have their eyes peeled on that. You know, this is a Maryville team that will give you their best, and they have a lot of guys out there that are looking to have something to prove, and they're looking to have their first ranked victory as a volleyball program. So not better time to do it than on the road against a top 10 team here in Muncie.
Let's go ahead and read the starting lineups before we get to it, as the last name is read. Starting with the visiting Maryville Saints. For them, they have Nakai Scott, Ethan Bairez Hyam, AJ Robitou, Cameron Lee, Kevin Duran, who we talked about those Ball State connections, and Zach Clark, the libero. For the Ball State Cardinals, the home team, their starting lineup: Rajay Aline, the star player, new this year; Lucas Machado, their setter; Lucas Pitlack, the libero, who stands off to the side at the moment, but will soon enter the match; Tanashi Ndawas-Ocheva from Zimbabwe; Braden Savitsky Lind; Patrick Rogers in the middle; Will Patterson. So both the starting lineups are set. We are ready to go. 2 nights in a row for the Cardinals, looking to get the week sweep here. Won 3 sets in a row last night, got the sweep, hoping to repeat it.
And you see Pitlack getting ready to sub in, but Will Patterson getting a start, a guy we haven't seen too much of this season. Only 5 sets played so far, but I just mentioned a big impact in Will Patterson, the biggest guy on the team, standing at 6'10", and he comes from a great hometown for Ball State Cardinals, Loveland, Ohio, where he shares the same hometown as Marie Plitt and Drew Plitt, a couple of Ball State legends. Obviously, Marie Plitt, a volleyball legend here in Muncie.
Lots of volleyball legends from that area. That goes for a lot of schools. That's a good area for volleyball, but Will Patterson last match came in. Later on in the match, he did perform well. He had 2 kills and 3 blocks, and with that 6'10" frame, not too difficult to do, but he gets the job done correctly. In comes Lucas Pitlack, meaning things are just about to get going, and Lucas Machado for the Ball State Cardinals will serve the game off.
So one of the 3 middle blockers will check out. That'll be Savitsky Lind. So Will Patterson does stay in here, at least to start games off, does it both on and off the court, being an all-academic in the ABCA as well.
And Duran heads to the bench on the other side for the libero to come in, but we'll see him soon. But for now, Lucas Machado kicks things off. There's the serve. It goes into the net, so a service error on the very first play of the night. The Saints take the early lead, 1-0.
It's a little bit of a late start here, starting at 7:08 for a 7 o'clock start time, but we get underway, and the late start may have rattled the Cardinals a little bit as Machado just serves one right into the net. Another service error for the Cardinals, and quickly a 1-0 lead for Maryville, their first lead of the game.
Maryville's first serve comes from Luke Kraft. He likes to throw it high up into the air. He's got a hard serve, returned by Ndawas-Ocheva. Back set to Patrick Rogers, who crosses it, saved on the other side. Now Pitlack has to chase it for the Cardinals. Machado goes back to Tanashi again. Now trying to set from Bairez Heim. In the middle, it's played by Robitou, gets it back over. Bairez Heim sets again. This time he goes to Makai Scott. It's blocked. It goes out of bounds. Or we'll say it was inbounds, and we'll go to the Cardinals, so we're tied at 1.
I think there might have been some contact with the Saint there at the front of the net, leading to the Ball State point. We're tied up at 1s apiece, but a lot of positives to see from both the Ball State and Maryville side, just keeping things up and playing some free balls and just end up in a point.
So here's Patrick Rogers to serve it. Cross shot coming from the Saints. Back set. Bairez Himes goes up. Robitou went for it. Player in the net once again. Cardinals found their way in the nest. Saints up 2-1.
So both points for the Saints have come off of Ball State errors, so at least in the early going, we thought it'd be the Saints maybe coming out a little bit flat. It's the Cardinals here who've come up with some crucial errors in the first few points.
Not exactly what we expect, but that's why you play the match. The serve comes from Makai Scott. Machado, back set to Rajay Aline at the opposite position. He gets the kill, his first of the night. It's tied at 2 in the first set.
Getting it past the left-handed sophomore in Kraft, who's had a really good day to at least start things off. That left-handed swing has fooled the Cardinals a little bit thus far, but Aline nonetheless testing that left side and going right at him and had no answer for it, tied at 2s.
Here's the tall Will Patterson to serve for the Cardinals. Puts it too far out of bounds. Another service error. That's the second of the night for Ball State.
Second of the night, third on the year for Patterson, the guy who hasn't really gotten behind the service line too much, and it shows right there and not the deuce.
A.J. Arobatu trying not to repeat what happened on the other side of that. He will serve. Bounces it, tosses it lightly up. Now to Machado. Goes back row to Patrick Rogers, who was waiting and got it done. 3-3. It's back and forth.
That ball lands right in front of Robotsu, the guy who is from our neck of the woods, Oak Park, River Forest. Teammates with Ball State's very own Peter Zarowski. They won a super sectional together, with Robotsu being 1 year older than Zarowski. So nice little reunion here for the both of them today.
So many connections between the two teams. That's just yet another one. Here's Rajay Aline to serve for the Ball State Cardinals. Puts it over. Played by Clark. Now back row Makai Scott near the end line. And it's in. It'll be a point off the tip. Saints get it.
And this is a Saints team we mentioned in the pregame that you cannot sleep on. They're going off to a hot start. It doesn't look like a team that hasn't played in 13 days. They're just giving the Cardinals everything they got so far, and right now the Cardinals having trouble to answer with their attack.
Setter Byrez Heim went to serve, goes too far. That'll be his 7th service error on the year.
That one just nearly missing the service line right there, knotting it up at fourth. So back and forth we go, and seems like whoever can go on a little bit of a run first will be the one to take the set.
Just almost the exact same start we saw last night from the Cardinals. It got tied up at 6, and the Cardinals pulled away. We'll see if they can again. Byrez Heim sets to Scott. Pitlack on the other side. Sets to Patrick Rogers. Cross shot kill again. The crosses are working. Ball State gets the point, 5-4.
That's kill number 67 on the year for Patrick Rogers, the first on the night, and a guy who's had a tremendous year for this Ball State team, doing pretty much everything, whether it's behind the service line, digging balls out, or getting some kills. He's doing it all for this Cardinal team, and you see why he's on the National Collegiate team for Team USA.
First team All-MIVA player, Tanashi Ndavaso serves. Byrez Hyam goes up to get it. Line shot too far out of bounds from Cameron Lee.
Shot from Lee just off the bad part of the hand. Lee third in the team in kills, and in a lot of categories as well. Third in assists, third in kills, third in service aces, third in service errors, third in digs. So really doing it all is Lee, but unfortunately just getting off the bad part of his hand right there and leading to the Ball State point. They're up to the largest lead for either side here today.
Ndavaso again, a hard jump serve back all the way to the other side to Pitlack. Machado goes for a kill himself, and he scoops it up. 6-4, 7-4 is the score off of the setter's kill.
I think the biggest improvement in Lucas Machado's game this year, which has been so fun to watch, is what he's been able to do on the offensive end, not just as a passer, but getting kills as well. His now 13th kill on the year. We saw him be able to get some kills against BYU, having 5 in a contest. He's averaging a kill and a half per set, so really improving on last year's numbers of not just passing the ball.
Yeah, it really shows the improvement from good to great. Machado again has to tip this one over in the back corner. He does so. Byrez Hyam goes to none other than Kevin Durant. He gets his first kill against his former team.
Yeah, Hyam just climbing the net right there and being able to get it. One of the bigger guys on this Maryville team, and it shows as their middle blocker, just being able to climb the ladder and get the point.
Now it's the Saints serving. Cameron Lee in the back to do the honors. Gives it to Ndavaso. Now set for Machado quickly to Savinsky Lind. Blocked attempt, but came right back in the face on the Saints side of things. Cardinals make it 8-5.
And this Cardinals front rush here is just relentless. They just have the clear height advantage, the clear bounce advantage here in the early going. And it's just fun to watch this Ball State team go to work with so much height in that front court.
Savitsky Lind just got his team the point and now looks to serve. There it goes. May have gone out, but it was played by the Saints. Scott goes at it. Rajay Aline could not handle on the other side. Kill for Scott.
And we mentioned in the pregame just the amount of hops that Scott has. And he got a ball over the tough frame of the 6'10 Patterson in between the arms of Machado and Patterson. And just saw him rise above the net there. A little bit deceptive for this Cardinals team. A little bit shocked that team go up that high, but nonetheless ends up in the point, back to a 2-point game.
Duran serves to the Saints, quickly put right back down by Will Patterson, who went past. This time he returns the favor. It's 9-6. Cardinals are up 3.
And that's a quick response there from Will Patterson, the Loveland, Ohio native, getting himself into the double-digit kill category on the year. That is his 10th right there, and it's now 9-6 Cardinals.
Lucas Machado serves again. It's a good one. Played by Iris Hyam. Back set. And put right back in the face by Patrick Rogers. It was Luke Kraft going for the kill, but Patrick Rogers said no.
And this is the Ball State Cardinals team that we know and expected to see here in this first set. They are just really starting to get all the positive momentum garnering their way, and Patrick Rogers just with a decisive kill.
Just like last time, Saints get to 6, and then the Ball State Cardinals take over, and they will continue to do so off an ace. Looked like an error on the other side. That results in it, but Lucas Machado, all the same, picks up an ace on the score sheet.
One of the easier aces Machado will pick up in his career. Just a little bit of a miscommunication right there on the Saints end. That's ace number 11. Now he's the same amount of errors as aces on the season.
Machado serves again. Rejected by Rajay Aline early on, right off the serve. It's 12-6. Cardinals are on a run, and a timeout is called by Mike Haston on the Saints side.
Our impact player, Rajay Aline, headed to the ball game. That's kill number 70 on the season for him, and we expected him to do exactly that here this season. He's such an effective blocker for this Ball State team, and what this Ball State team needed so drastically, as well as on the offensive end, obviously getting things done. We felt their biggest weakness last year was on the opposite side. Aline comes in as a first-team All-MIVA guy, and he's really solidified his role on this Ball State team, not just as one of the better players in the conference or on this team, but across the entire country, leading this team in kills and being on top of the country in numbers of kills.
It took a bit for all of them to get going, including himself, but just like last night, after the opposing team got to 6 points, the Ball State Cardinals decided to lock in and take things over. Who knows what happens out of the timeout, but what do you think changed after about the first 10 points or so?
I think they just started to get familiar with this Maryville team. A lot of things that you maybe have not seen on film. Obviously, they have some really sneaky guys there in Scott, who just is really deceptive with his height, and Kraft, who has that really deceptive left-handed swing. So some things that you typically don't expect to see on a volleyball court every day that they have. They've started to fluctuate that around a little bit, but Ball State kind of started to catch on to their tricks a little bit, and they've also been starting to bite themselves in the foot a little bit too with some critical errors. And let's not forget, at the start of the game, Ball State had 3 errors to be the 3 of the first 4 points for the Saints to start off, so Ball State has just eliminated those just early game woes that you maybe expect in the first 10 points or so, but once they got the kinks out, it was just pretty smooth sailing from here, at least in this first set so far.
We will soon find out if they can keep those out as Machado continues his reign at the service line. 12-6, waiting for the officials to get things underway.
Back on Machado, even numbers of errors and aces, you don't see that a lot in guys, so it's just some really impressive stuff at the service line from Machado.
He serves again. Byron Hyam sets it to his middle, and it's rejected by Will Patterson. Roboto could not get it past him.
And that's just the one thing that this Saints team cannot keep up with. That's the 6'10 frame of Will Patterson. Not a lot of guys can compete with that, and they just don't have the height at any position to compete with someone at 6'10", with the 4 to 3 inch difference being with their tallest guy.
This time going back to Cameron Lee, the Saints do. Byron Hyam. Cross shot too far, sent out of bounds by Kraft. Again, the Cardinals pick up the point. That makes it 14-6.
And what a run it has been for this Cardinals team. After it was just back and forth, 8 unanswered for the Cardinals.
Once again, Lucas Machado will serve for Ball State. The Saints challenging early on in set number 1. This is something we talked about as a possibility before the broadcast. Both coaches very experienced in what they are able to do around the volleyball world. Oftentimes know when the right times to challenge are. Not exactly sure what the challenge will be. Didn't get any indication of that in arena, but we'll find out if the Saints can win their first challenge of the night.
I think they're trying to see maybe if it got the arm of Patterson right there. Looks like there may have been some contact made, and they're going to indeed take a check at that one. And our Sportslink crew not down there on cameras today, so won't get as good of an angle as we saw last week against BYU, but nonetheless, they're going to take a look at the call and see if the call stands or is overturned.
Yeah, we got a couple of SportsLink students on cameras today, but our whole crew not exactly in it. We'll have plenty of ESPN events brought to you by our SportsLink crew later on in the year as things get going in conference play, so make sure to stay tuned to the SportsLink social media accounts to know when those games will be part of a lot of those, and should be exciting as the year goes on. I'm excited to see what this first review ends up being. The officials certainly taking their time, got to be somewhat close. To remind those who may have just tuned into the broadcast at this point, it's the Ball State Cardinals and the Maryville Saints going head-to-head early on in the first set. It seemed like it was very even until both teams got to about 5 or 6. It was a tennis match going back and forth, and then the Cardinals started to turn it on. Once Machado got to the service line, things went their way, and it continues to go their way as the Cardinals will keep the possession of the ball. First challenge of the match, lost by the visitors.
In the blink of an eye, it went from 4-3 to 14-16. Maryville was up 4-3 at one point, and it's been 11-2 run since, and the Cardinals, with Machado still at the service line, rolling right now.
This goes to show how quick things can change. A quick kill comes from Kraft. Same exact play they ran before. This time, no one in front, and he kept it down.
Absolutely crafty play right there, and Patterson could not get in the way of that one in time, just giving him an easy lane right there between net and ball, and the only person who had a chance of digging that one out was Machado, and that ball was just coming in so quickly that didn't really have a chance to react.
Kraft goes back to serve after his kill. It's 14-7, Ball State in the lead. High throw comes from Kraft. It's played by Pitlack on the other side. Machado back sets to Patrick Rogers, who moves all around the court. Set to Scott. Kept up by Davis Ocheva in the back row. Now Rajay Aline has a chance to get a kill. Put back right in his face by the setter, Byros Hyam. Now they're controlling on their side. Back set goes all the way to Scott. It's too far. Hits the official going out of bounds. So a mistake comes on the Saints side, and the Ball State Cardinals get a point off it. 15-7.
Yeah, a little bit of luck on the Ball State side, a little bit of misfortune for the Maryville Saints. Aline ran into a triple block right there. Nonetheless, the ball ended up on the Maryville Saints side, and from there, the ball just kept carrying him around and ended up out of bounds and a free Ball State point.
Patrick Rogers kicks things off once again. Byros Hyam goes for it. Now Machado sets to Pitlack. Now Aline again has a chance at it. Crosses it off the arms of Kraft and floats into the stands. Another point for the Cardinals.
It's the finesse of Aline right there. So impressive right there. Had a double block right there in his face, and nonetheless just got a little bit of a spin on the ball, moved it to his left where no one was other than just one defender, and just got a bad tip on it and either save it or let it go out of bounds.
Rogers serves again. Moving play. Robitou tried to go for it, and Davis Ocheva just has to set it over now to the other side to Kraft. Byros Hyam goes to his middle. Robitou out of bounds, so the Cardinals pick up another point. Lots of misses early on for the Saints.
Yeah, Saints now just error after error. After a really hot start from them and a really cold start from the Cardinals, things have shifted in the blink of an eye. A 10-point lead for this Cardinals squad, sending Patrick Rogers to the line.
17-7 is that 10-point lead. Byros Hyam scoops it over his head and gets it inbounds. A great play by the setter on the Saints side to try and get his team some momentum.
So the old strategy of bump, set, spike hasn't been exactly working for this Saints squad, so they're going with bump, set, try and throw this Ball State defense off a little bit, and at least right there on that go-around, it did.
Sure did, and the next point starts. This is a quick-moving game. Tanashi Davis Ocheva goes for a kill. Cannot get it. Byros Hyam sets to Scott. It's blocked by Aline. Put back in the face. Byros Hyam chases it, goes to Clark, cross shot off the top of the net, going back into the faces of the Saints. Another point for the Cardinals. 10-point lead is back. It's 18-8.
Couple middle blockers, which has kind of been the weakness for this Saints team all year, has been the middle blocker presence. The Cardinals have two of them, two big guys, Aline standing at 6'6" and Patterson standing at 6'10", and both of them just got in the way of that ball right there. Kind of may have missed Patterson, but Aline says, I got your back, guy, and gets the point right there to make it 18-8.
Just goes to show, like we've talked about, the depth of the roster. Even in the starters, when one player can't always get it done, there's another player right behind him to make something happen. Another timeout was called in the meantime by Coach Mike Haston. I know we talked about Coach Haston a bit in the pre-match show, but want to just refresh those watching on who Mike Haston, the coach of the Maryville Saints, is. Sam, I'm going to give it to you for that one.
Mike Haston in his fourth year as the Maryville coach, 51-39 record all time. He's their winningest coach in program history, and he's their losingest coach because he's been their only coach in program history. He's been really impressive in his 4 years, and last year was his most impressive season to date, a 21-8 record. Maryville currently an independent, but they're moving to the Great Lakes Valley Conference next year, so they're heading to a conference next year, and only their fourth year as a program, a really young program, and he's really started to I wouldn't say revitalize because there wasn't really anything to vitalize in the first place, but really build that program from the ground up quickly.
We were talking even before we came on air on how impressive it is to build a program like Maryville has in just 4 years to come in and compete against these top schools in the nation so early on in your history, it's jaw-dropping.
Yeah, it's been incredible to watch with this team, and he's had a lot of experience both with the men's and women's side, and also at Fonbonne University, where he was their winningest coach as well. So he's kind of bought into whatever he's had. He's made sure his players bought into whatever he's been preaching, and they've been winning games because of it.
They have, and one game that they did not win was the first time these two teams played in 2022 was Mike Hastings' second ever game against the Ball State Cardinals. Cardinals swept them in that one. On the right track to do it again. We get back underway. Kraft goes at it. Machado chases for the Cardinals. Going to Tanashi and Dawasocheva. Tooled out of bounds by the scorer's table. Cardinals get the point. It's 19-8.
And the Cardinals, what else can you say other than it's just been an explosion here. Ever since the first 10 points of the ball game, it has been all Cardinals. They send Will Patterson back to the service line, has one service error in this ball game, but does have an ace on the season, looking for his second.
His serve goes. Slides off the hands. Now Lee just has to go and chase after. Rogers has an easy set in the back row. Going back to him on the kill. Off the top of the fingers, shooting it too far out of bounds. So it goes to the Saints, 19-9.
Just a bit outside there from Rogers. That one sailing well away over everybody's heads and heading near the student section of the Ball State fans.
A.J. Robitou will serve. Leads the team in blocks this season with 6 and leads the team in attack percentage with a .412 attack percentage. They've been going to him a lot today as well.
Robitou has played every set so far on the season for this Maryville squad. Looking to build upon that here.
Robitou serves, and it's blocked right away. Kevin Durant to his old team says, did you see that, huh?
Yeah, Durant showing the emphasis right there. You know he's fired up, playing against his former program, and wonder if there's maybe a whistle blown, maybe trying from the ref telling him to maybe cool it down a bit, but nonetheless, a huge play from him against his former squad. You knew he was going to have a big impact if he had the opportunity to get out there, and right there he did. A big play with some emphasis.
It's important early on. Aline goes for a kill. Tooled off back, but out of bounds. So the kill comes from Rajay Aline. 20-10. The Cardinals are just 5 points away from taking set one.
Cardinals once again double the score here. The Saints 20-10 here. Cardinals only need 5 more to get this one to set, or 4 more to get it to set point, 5 more to take this first set here in Muncie.
Aline walks back to serve. Tosses it up. Serves it off. Put in the back row by Clark. Lee goes at it. Slips through the fingers of Rogers. Dawasocheva just has to get it over. Just barely does not. He was in the back of the court, swung over his head to try and pass it, but trickled in the top of the net.
Yeah, and you see Dawasocheva just laughing it off and kind of does the weightlifting motion as if I lifted a little bit more, that ball probably would have gotten over. Nonetheless, he smiles about it, he laughs, and we move on 20-11.
22-11, a bit easier to laugh. Up 9 in set one. Here's Byres Hyam, the setter, to serve for the Saints. Now to the other setter, Machado, who goes to Rajay Aline. In the middle of the block, Aline's attempt goes. It's down for the kill. It's 21-11.
Threading the needle and through the hands of a few defenders. Just right there going for a double block and splitting the D between the two. And another point for this Cardinals team. Another kill for Aline, his team leading 4th of the day.
Serve comes from Dawasocheva. Byres Hyam goes to his reliable teammate. He has to go after it again. Now it's Lee on the Saints side. Blocked. Cardinals still have possession of it. Machado has to back set to Rajay Aline. Again, this time no tip. Puts it all the way into the bench of the Saints. Bit too far out of bounds, so the Saints pick up the point.
Way too much mustard on that one. Sailing straight towards the Saint bench, and they all had to just dodge their bodies out of the way of that one. Otherwise, it could have been big-time trouble and probably a good collision with ball and person.
And on the sideline now, a little bit of a delay. Lucas Pitlock, the libero for the Ball State Cardinals, getting his hand checked out after that last play. Doesn't seem to be too serious. Just, he's fixing something up.
Yeah, getting that wrist looked at. He's kind of just grinning as well. So just kind of a little bit of a shake-up, make sure everything's okay. And all's well, ends well. And back out there in the court is Pitlock.
Yeah, looked down at the arm when he got back into the middle back row. Just looked at it and went, I'm all right. So newly entered Saint to the game is Victor Ganev. Did not play in their last match. Has 2 service errors on the season. Let's see what happens now. His serve goes into the net. Will be his 3rd service error on the year.
Ganev, a serving specialist so far on the season, but hasn't really shown it with his 3rd service error. That one going directly into the net, but another serving specialist into the game that will send this crowd into a frenzy. It's Xander Pink.
Xander Pink often comes in at the end of these sets to kind of pump the crowd up, and especially up 22-12. The crowd already excited, but even more excited to see Xander Pink serve.
It's the high-flying Hawaiian. Step into the service line.
Serves it off. Set up by Byers Hyam. Durant had some space, and he found an open court, gets the kill.
Xander Pink smartly lets that ball go. He thought that ball might have been out of play. I think Doan and Cruz may agree with him. We'll see if they take a look at it or not.
Looks like nothing will happen, so Duran goes back to serve. A lot of work to do as his team is down 22-13. Home team Ball State Cardinals are up in this one. Serve from Duran to Nashin Davos-Ocheva. Machado goes to the reliable teammate in Patrick Rogers. A line shot put down for the kill.
Patrick Rogers, the junior here in his second season with the Ball State Cardinals, originally the Long Island Brooklyn transfer, and he has had a huge role since stepping foot on campus here in Muncie.
Nearly set point. Machado serves. Byers Hyam back sets. Blocked up front. Patrick Rogers just got a kill, and now he gets a block.
Crowd on their feet here in Muncie, as it is now set point already here in this first set. Moving quickly along here. Game may have started a little bit late, but Cardinals did not.
Machado serves. It's set point. It's off. On the sideline played. Klingbeil goes after it, new to the game. Machado goes to Tanashi Davos-Ocheva, and just no chance. The back row attack from Davos-Ocheva is too strong. It's a kill for the Cardinals, and it's a set one victory for the Cardinals.
And that one off the hands of Victor Gann of number 14, and off his hand and probably into the 14th row. Just so hard off the hand of Davos-Ocheva on that kill attempt, and rare to see anyone get a dig out of an opportunity like that, and Gannon could not do so, and it led to the Ball State point, the Ball State win of that first set, which they've done so much this season, especially here at home.
This one particularly impressive. 25-13 is the final score in set number one. We'll be back for set number two. Still plenty of volleyball left to be played here in Worthen Arena. Ball State takes the first one, but we'll be back with more on the other side of SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards in everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU SportsLink.
"35 seconds until set two will begin. If you're just joining us now, set one was all Ball State. They won it 25-13. Started off, it was close. Both teams were going back and forth, but the Cardinals took it away in the end.
Yeah, they just annihilated the Saints in that first set. After it was a 4-3 start for the Saints, it was all Ball State after 22-11 run after that point, and not much more you can say other than just pure dominance from the Ball State side.
It has been, and one of the players on that side that has been dominant is no surprise. It was Rajay Aline. We talked about him in the open, and he's performed. What have you seen from him in set one?
Rajay Aline, the team lead in kills right now, and I've seen him just go all over the court with the volleyball. He hasn't really tried to go to one side or the other, and really hasn't been predictable all night for this Maryville Saints team. And I think what's impressed me the most is They brought 2 blockers at him. They brought 3 blockers at him, and it doesn't matter. He'll wind up with the point.
Seems like every time the Cardinals have had the opportunity late in that set, they wind it up with the point. But for the Saints, let's shift to them, talk about them for a bit. What can they do to regroup to try and change things in set 2?
Well, I think the biggest stat that stood out with me all year and why they've maybe obviously you knew you were coming into those 2 ranked games. It was going to be a little bit of a struggle to begin with, but they have a really low attacking percentage, standing at only 26.8%, and that stat just kind of glared at me looking at it in the preparation for watching this game. And I think going into this game, if they wanted a chance against this Ball State team, they needed to be at a very efficient attack percentage. And right now, TK, they're in the negatives.
Yeah, not exactly what you want. Their leader on the team in terms of hit percentage is Robitou, who hits .412. Today he's hitting -600, so that goes to show. Here's the serve to start us off from the Saints. Machado goes to Aline again. Line shot, it's down again. Another kill early for Rajay Aline in set 2.
A quick start here from the Cardinals, accelerating off the hand of Aline right there. And the Barbados native, not much you can do right there to get in the way of that one. And saw it right there, hammering it down, and quickly 1-0 Cardinals already sending their best server today to the service line once again in Machado.
Machado delivers another good one. Byrez Hayam sets, goes cross to David Fleischer off the hands of the Cardinals and out of bounds, so it's 1-1.
1-1, that one off the hands of Aline. So after he gets the point goes off of his hand and winds up in the Saints' favor. So 1-1 here, and back to the service line here once again will be Kraft, the left-handed server.
His serve incoming, takes a deep breath, throws it way up into the air and serves it. Played by Rogers on the other side, moving was Machado. And what a play by Will Patterson to track that one down as it went off the net, up into the air, still got it down onto the other side. It's 2-1.
What a play by Patterson, and what a pass from Machado. Thought there might have been some contact there with the net, but Machado just using the net to his advantage. Usually you see that as a defect for most volleyball players, but he used it to his advantage off the net, and the assist for Machado.
Serve is hard from Patrick Rogers. Kraft blocked by Tanashi and Davasocheva. What a huge block early in set 2.
Yeah, you can hear that block from all the way up here, just off the hands of Davasocheva. That one coming in at a high velocity as well, but Davasocheva said, I'll just get in front of it. Let me put my hands up and put it down, and no chance to put it right back.
Rogers serves again, played by Clark. Has to move his Byrez Hayam. Scott went at it off the hands of Pitlack, floated in the air, was waiting to see if it would go down, eventually did. 3-2, Cardinals still up, but lose that point.
And that wasn't the greatest pass in the world. Scott able to just read it out of midair nonetheless, just get a hit on it and forcing a little bit of a miscue from the Cardinals.
The 6-foot Scott goes to serve. Machado back sets to Rajay Aline. A easy kill for him once again, just near the 10-foot line.
Oh, I mean, how do you stop that? That one is just straight up and straight down. They've been struggling to really bring anyone at the net for Aline, and it is shown. Typically the middle blocker is right now playing on the outside, and he's been doing a great job at either row. I'm sorry, the opposite, playing on the opposite side.
Just too quick to stop sometimes. Tip coming. It was Lee now on the Ball State side. Davasocheva, Scott plays it. Byrez Hayam goes to Kraft off the block. And played wonderfully by Robitou, who saw the open court and got himself a kill on the left side.
What a crafty play there from Robitou. Has had a little bit of a rough day so far, but gets his first kill on the board. The former Husky of Oak Park River Forest gets it done right there, and it's a 1-point game, and he sends himself to the service line.
A great way to build some momentum for himself. He could get a good serve here. He gets it over. Played by Rogers. Machado has to pass it up to, and Davasocheva finds the back corner of the court. Kill for Davasocheva.
Davasocheva just threading the needle and threading the line right there, walking a tight rope, but nonetheless slicks it in there and getting it past the defenders, and that one was a very smooth hit to just get it right past the defense to make it 5-3.
Rajay Aline now to serve. 5-3 the score in set 2. Serve is away. Played by Clark to Byrez Hayam, who tries to get past the defense. Savitsky Lind waiting, and Byrez Hayam found himself in the net on the way down.
Savitsky Lind's had a really solid season to start off here, at least in the early going, and especially that BYU game. That first BYU game had a big impact in that ball game. Although it didn't come up on top, those first 2 or 3 sets that he played were vital and the reason why the Cardinals went up to a 2-0 set lead.
Here's the serve from Aline. Lee plays it to Byrez Hayam, who goes back to Lee. Passes a bit behind him, but he handles it. Machado runs cross court, then back sets to Rajay Aline. Now Clark plays it from the libero spot. Lee again tries to go for the kill. Played up by Pitlack. Whistle blows, and the point goes to the Saints.
Some contact with the net there forces the point for Cameron Lee, but just nonetheless, you mentioned another pass that has just gone right behind the attacker for Maryville and has led to maybe an attacking opportunity that looked like it could produce points, instead just turning into a free ball opportunity essentially.
We've seen a lot of trends like that today. Another one to have those has been service errors. Another one added to that total from Makai Scott's serve.
And make that number 3 there from Makai Scott. Another service error for this Saints team. The service errors haven't really been the issue, as have been attacking errors in the early going for the Saints squad here. And see if they can maybe come up with another attacking error right here as Davos Zacheva is at the service line.
Maybe another ace, and it is from Mandavas Ocheva. Went off the back row and too far to go and reach for it. Ace for Mandavas Ocheva.
Yeah, and that's her from Mandavas Ocheva bringing out the guitar, but that one right there just kind of went off the bad part of the arm there of the libero in Clark and not result in a positive result for the Saints in an 8-4 Cardinal lead. They're doubling their score.
And he goes right back to serve. Lee trying to get a kill this time. He does off the hands of Rogers. Pitlack went for it on the Cardinals side, but to no avail.
Yeah, Pitlack, I don't know if he was indecisive of whether or not he wanted to dig that ball out or not. By the time he decided to dig that ball out, could not get a good read on it, and that one just kind of deflects off the bad part of his fingertips and out of play.
So difficult to react in time to those. Pitlack nearly got there. Machado goes to Savitsky Lynn in the middle. He puts it right in the heart of the court. 9-5 after that Savitsky Lynn kill.
The height of this blocking core and attacking core for this Ball State team that is so efficient and so scary. Savitsky Lynn at 6'7", Will Patterson at 6'10", Patrick Rogers at 6'7", Aline at 6'6". It's hard to contain all those guys. And right there, Savitsky Lynn climbing the ladder, one of those 4 guys at that bottom row.
Climbs the ladder on the serve as well. Scott tries to go for it. Machado goes over the head to knock the ball over the net. Kraft too far out of bounds on his attempt. I was waiting to see if there would be a tip. They did not say there was, so Savitsky Lynn heads back right where we started at the beginning of the point.
Cardinals double their lead once more, and it's just been an attack that's been flowing at all assets right there, and it's the 11th attacking error on the end of Maryville, so all things falling apart on their end.
Played by Scott after the serve from Savitsky Lynn. Back to Scott. Gets up there, hops, and gets a kill.
And this is what's so fun about watching Makai Scott play volleyball. He's just so efficient at what he does and is so sneaky at getting it past those defenders. He climbs the net, and not only that, but can just get it to either side, left or right. That one just sneaking it past the left side and resulting in the point for the Saints, and we're 3-4.
Now serving is David Fleischer. Serves this one too far. Bounces into the stands. Another service error. That'll be 3 for the Saints today.
Quick souvenir for a student before he has to throw the ball back, and another point for this Ball State team. So whenever it seems this Maryville squad garners any momentum, it is quickly depleted by either an attacking error or a service error.
Still only down 5, though. It's 11-6, better than last set. Number 5, Scott, goes after it. Trying to block it was the Cardinals' Patrick Rogers. Got a piece of it, but his arm and back down on his side. Kill for Makai Scott.
And Makai Scott, after it looked like he maybe ran into a triple team plot, the caveat of his height, standing at only 6 foot, is that ball is going to have a tough time getting over all 3 of those guys. Fortunately for him, some contact with the net results in the point and a 4-point game.
Kraft throws it up. Serves a bit lighter and serves it off the left side of the court and out of bounds. Another service error goes in favor of the Cardinals.
A little bit of a sky ball serve, trying to fool this Cardinals team with that left-handed serve as well. That one just a little bit too high in the air and just had too much on it, and as a result, that one just sailed out of bounds.
Now Rogers will serve. Another good one. Chasing it is Clark all the way to Lee, who just has to shoot it over. Machado goes to Mandavas Ocheva. Put it right where he wanted, and he gets a kill.
So despite the fact Rogers may have slipped on his initial serve or may have lost dribble of the ball in his serve routine, got the serve off and may have laughed it off a little bit, but got an unconventional dig, and then it led to a Tanashi and Davos Ucheva point with the defense all out of sorts because of the free ball.
Another serve now for the Cardinals. Scott this time tips it over the defense. Nearly works, and it does. And maybe Davos Ocheva got there, but a smart play from Scott. As you mentioned, he's tricky.
There's between him and Machado trying to get to that ball, and both of them just could not slide and get the effort to get there, just getting it between the Bermuda Triangle of Cardinals right there. Some really impressive stuff from Scott right there, sending himself to the service line and having the team lead in kills with 6.
That Bermuda Triangle, so tough to get around. He just decided to go above it. Set from Machado to the back row to Rogers. Responds with a kill of his own.
Patrick Rogers, you expect him to make big-time plays in big-time games, and that is what Rogers does. He has 4 digs in this ball game and 3 kills, so not often you see him out digging himself, but doing that right here tonight, and that just shows how talented he is and how he can just do whatever you ask or need of him at any point of the ball game.
An all-around player. Now it's Will Patterson to serve. Byres Hyam goes for it. Scott comes from the back row. High set from Patrick Rogers, blocked up, put back out of the Cardinals' side. Back into the game was Duran and making his impact known.
And Duran against his former team right there, but nonetheless, Patrick Rogers nearly running cross court to somehow dig that ball out just off the fingertips and bouncing down, and Duran against his former team getting it done. Yet another kill. He's had a big impact so far in this ball game for the Saints team and why they've been in it this set.
Yeah, that's his 2nd kill tonight, so a pretty good impact. Davasocheva nearly gets a kill, played by the Saints. Back row from Kraft. Now it's blocked by Aline. Not in the net, or we'll say he was in the net. So the point does go to the Saints.
About to say it is unfair to tear down that blocking defense, and the only way you can stop it is by that, hoping you get the net violation.
Net still shaking after that last one. Serve goes off. Robotu was the one that did it, and Savitsky Lin was the one that gets the kill. A powerful shot from him.
And that'll take us to the 15-second timeout. But going back to that last play, I mean, sometimes tough to tell whether or not they hit the net or not, but when it's shaking like that, it makes it pretty obvious.
Yeah, you know, something had to have happened after that. The Cardinals have been spreading it around, though. Lots of players have been getting involved in this offense. We've talked about Rajay Aline a lot, but there's been some other standouts out there. Who else do you think on this Cardinals side has been playing well?
I think the biggest part of their performance has been that it's been coming from all around, and it hasn't been just one guy, and that's been the biggest key to this Ball State team all year, is having 4 or 5 guys on the court at a time that can get it done, and right now they are having guys that can get it done. Rajay Aline has 6 kills. Lucas Machado joined the party with a kill, and he's been doing that a lot more this season than most people anticipated. 4 kills on the day for Tinashe and Davazucheva. It has been tea time here today as well. Brady Savitsky Lin, all of a sudden 4 kills have all come in this set. He's really starting to emerge here in this second set. Patrick Rogers having 4 kills as well, and a solid first set from Will Patterson where he had 2 kills. So it's just been all-around party for middle blockers, outside hitters, opposite hitters from all aspects of this Cardinals squad.
Has not really been the story on the other side for Maryville. They've been going to one man, Makai Scott, and he's been delivering. What has he done today?
He's been a one-man show, 7 kills, by far the team lead, and he's got an attack percentage of 500, which is much higher than most of his teammates. The only other one who could have a higher attacking percentage is Duran, who is in his homecoming, a 1,000 attack percentage. Granted, only 2 attempts, he's got those 2 kills, but in a homecoming for him, he's been hitting the ball really well. Obviously, Scott's been hitting the ball really well, but all his other teammates are either hitting 100 or in the negatives.
Right, it's just not the best performance they've had. They've played a couple of MIVA teams already this season, play 7 MIVA schools this year, a lot of those ranked. This is the 3rd of those 7. Now number 7, Rajay Aline, back to serve after the break. Byres Hyam goes back row to Makai Scott. Another kill for him. That's his 8th.
Yeah, and he's been high-flying all over the court all day and been the one guy on this Maryville squad that this Ball State defensive front that has been so relentless all day has had trouble stopping. And he's the smallest guy on the court, so you'd think they'd be able to contain him. But nonetheless, he's just been doing some big-time things as a big-time player as only a sophomore.
And Byres Hyam serves. Tinashe and Davasocheva right back in the face of the Saints after his kill. It's 16-11.
And not much the Saints defense could do right there to try and get in front of that one. Coming in so fast and so hot was the ball and in Davasocheva. And by the time the defense had any time to react to it and try and get a block up, that ball was already down on the ground.
There's just no time to react to it. That's something we've seen all day, and it's big part because of Machado getting that ball up there quickly on the set. And Davasocheva plays the air guitar after getting himself an ace. That's a couple tonight.
That's his 2nd of the ball game, the 2nd of this set from Davasocheva, and his 7th on the year. Now he has more aces than errors on the season. It's been really impressive stuff at the service line from Davasocheva as the season has gone on and forcing a timeout on the Maryville end.
Yeah, the air guitar was too strong for Maryville. Have to take that timeout. That's the second timeout now in the past 3 points. We're going to stick around and talk a little bit about this as we'll be back in just about a minute. But you get that timeout after the 15-point break because this is being aired on ESPN+. And then just a couple points later, you don't come out how you want to. Why do you take a timeout again if you're the Saints?
I think you just want to get all things going. I mean, when you went into that media timeout, it was only a 4-point game, and you're going in there, hey, we get a point here, or we get a point in the next few rallies. We're still in this game, and we can keep things going. And then quickly, Ball State has gotten 2 points, so it's now you have to regenerate the troops and get them all together and be like, hey, we need to score now, otherwise we're out of this set. You not just need to draw up your best play for this next attack here or this next rally here, but the next 2, 3, 4 rallies and really get something going and get a little swing of runs going here and get some points on the board consecutively, what the Saints have not been able to do all day long.
A bit of optimism on the Saints side. It's been a better set than the last. They entered the first set with a loss of 25-13, already at 11, or the Cardinals only at 17. So still some work to do. The Cardinals trying to finish off set number 2, and the Saints are getting closer than they were before.
And now we know it's only been one matchup, but Ball State leads the all-time matchup 1-0. And another interesting note, has been more than 18 points. If I'm correct, Maryville hasn't scored against this Ball State team at all?
That's correct. In that match, there was 25-18, 25-12, 25-13, not in that exact order, but those were the scores. And Davos Ocheva nearly gets another ace. Byros Hyam has to go chase it, goes to the middle, and knocked out of bounds from Fleischer.
We saw a 25-13 first set here in Muncie, so saw a 25-13 set in that matchup as well. So hoping to avoid that fate here and put up a little bit more points than they have in their last go-around here at Worthen.
Keep note, it was set 2 of that matchup that ended 25-18. Serve comes from Duran. Joust at the net, goes in favor of the Cardinals. Machado, one of those in on that one.
And it's been this Cardinals offense and Davos Ocheva getting involved as the game has gone on more and more. And Xander Pink for the second time in 2 sets. We will see him again, the serving specialist we mentioned. We see him later on in ball games and later on in sets. Try and get a spark, get the crowd and the team going. Hopefully he does it right here.
Sends an arc serve. Makai Scott is the one that gets the energy going on his side, getting a kill, making it 18-13.
Xander Pink trying to do everything he could to get his second dig of the season. Dive into that ball right there. The 5'8" senior from Hawaii just could not get to that one and ends up in a Saint point.
It's the senior from Queen Creek, Arizona to serve, David Fleischer. Entered the game a bit later on. His serve is off. It's a hard one. Shot at Rogers, who goes for the kill, not able to do so. Byros Hyams has to get into the net. Passed over by Duran, but passed out of bounds by him. That error results in another Cardinal point.
And it's been errors galore here in the second and first set for the Maryville Saints. So they've been playing themselves out of this ball game, and that attacking percentage continues to dwindle.
Now at 180%. That'll be improved by Scott, who gets another kill for himself. He's been all over the place tonight. It's going to be his 10th kill. He's in the double digits.
Getting in the double digits, the first one from either side to do so. So he's been doing his part to make sure the Saints have a say in making sure this one's a ball game.
Just keep going to him until the Ball State Cardinals can find an answer if you are the Saints. Now Luke Kraft, another high toss, served. Machado cannot get that one. Instead, it's Scott on the other side, showing off his hops and putting it down.
Yeah, we mentioned those bunnies. We've been preaching on it all day long, and you saw it right there. The 6-foot sophomore getting up there in a solo effort on the block right after the kill attempt for the Cardinals, and nobody was home, and he went all across the court to make sure he got that free ball attempt and got it down.
It's like he's got a springboard in his shoes. It's incredible.
It's fun to watch.
Really is. The serve goes into the net. Another service error on the Saints side of things. It was Luke Kraft serving that one.
Yeah, Luke Kraft, another error. He's got 5 errors in this ball game. Now his second service error of the ball game. So 7 total, and it's just been a disaster fluctuating here for this Maryville team.
Whistle blows, cueing Patrick Rogers to serve. Close to that back line. The officials will call it out. Doesn't look like the Cardinals want to challenge, but that one looked close to me.
Yeah, that one definitely looked close. I know we had a little bit maybe of a better look at it than Coach Cruz did, and he's going to give it. He's going to throw that challenge flag, and he's going to take a look at that one. Thought that one may have touched line. Agreed with you there, Tyler. And nonetheless, we are going to take a look at that one. Coach Cruz agreed with you Maybe you gave him like a little signal like, hey, coach, let's look.
Well, I will say my hands were not up in the air, but the Cardinals' hands kind of went up in the air. As they turned around, they went into a bit of a discussion and started to discuss, hey, should we challenge that one? And ultimately went to their coach and decided to do so. And it's a very stoic attitude for both these coaches when they go up and challenge. It's simply, sometimes you see coaches mad about it. Oh, how could that not go our way? Both of these coaches on their challenges, picking up the card and just placing it right in front of the officials, and it's been pretty calm so far.
Yeah, I mean, you go up to the podium, you're calm when you deliver that challenge, but if the challenge doesn't go your way, that's when it gets a little fiery.
You're right, and it did not go the way of the Saints. Early in set number 1, they challenged and did not win it, so the Cardinals looking for the first one challenge of the night.
Looking for a little bit of a different fate is Coach Cruz. Both fourth-year coaches, as we mentioned, both prominent coaches at their levels and what they've done at their programs, and see who comes out on top here today in the battle of the fourth-year coaches.
Officials taking their time to look at it as it deserves. Like we said, as it happened, it looked close. We had a better vantage point than most up here in the booth of Worthen Arena. 20-16 is the score as it stands, but that may change soon depending on the result of this challenge. This is SportsLink Digital Radio presented by Victory Honda of Muncie, bringing you tonight's content. We'll have plenty more radio broadcasts as the year goes on, not just for men's volleyball, but still in the heart of basketball season for both men's and women's. As that rolls on, make sure to continue to tune into our broadcast on YouTube or Twitter. Will be around, and we'll be waiting for this call. Looks like the officials have it.
Maryville side applauding. They think this call has gone their way, and indeed it has.
Sure did. Maybe worth the challenge. They were looking at it for a bit of time, but you cannot overturn it unless it is definitive. Must not have been.
And both fourth-year coaches have lost a challenge here in the early going. So challenge has not gone the way of either side, and officials have gotten it right here so far for every call so far.
It's 20-16. The Saints only 4 points back. A service ace that time, no doubt about it, for Makai Scott.
Yeah, and had Ndavazocheva backtracking right there. Thought that one was going to sail out of bounds and looked up and saw that ball just nearly clip the corner right there, and what a serve from Scott that was right there, just playing an unbelievable game so far.
Serves again, this time to Rogers. Machado sets to Ndavazocheva and recovers after that error before with the kill.
So maybe a bit of a miscommunication right there. Scott thought he had the dig right there, and flying out of nowhere was Zach Clark, number 99. Not often you see a number 99 out there on the volleyball court, and begs the question, do they have 99 jerseys, or did they just get that one like customly made?
It's an important question. I saw that when looking at the roster. 99 is often a number, not often, but you will see it for liberos in particular. He is libero on the side, and he's the one that received the serve, but the one who makes the kill is A.J. Robitou.
Robitou, another kill for him. It was a troublesome first set, I should say, for Robitou, and he's really started to turn things around here in the second set. He'll check out of the ball game right here, and we'll see for the first time the freshman, Alex Engels.
6'2" freshman from San Diego, California is Alex Engels, his first time tonight at the service line. 21-18 is the score. The Cardinals are up, but the Saints are serving. He goes to Pitlack. Machado, quick to Braden Savitsky. Lind, who finds the ball onto the floor.
And there's the serve there from Engels. Only a second set all season. There's a high ball, a high arcing serve, and a quick read for Pitlack. Just got the quick, easy bump, set, and spike, and saw the typical Machado connection and landing in another Ball State point.
22-18. Maryville at that 18 number that they could not surpass in their first and only matchup ever played before today. Aline serves. Byres Heim. What a play. A line shot comes from Luke Kraft. And Ndavazocheva tried to jump over the chairs to get there, but the line shot too strong from the Saints.
Tried going over a chair through Charlie Cardinal and just could not get to that ball. And now for the first time, the Maryville Saints have gotten over 18 points here at Worthen Arena. See if they can get over 19 and get into the 20-point mark for the first time ever at the Worthen Arena.
Maybe decided by Ethan Byres Hyam, who serves. Now Machado back set to Aline off the block, back on the Cardinals side. Pitlack goes and passes to Ndavazocheva, who has to go and retrieve it. Tipped up, joust to the net, still on the Cardinals side. Can't get it off of there. Aline has to just set it over. He does. Byres Hyam. Now back row set coming from Clark. Again, it's Kraft with another kill. That's 2 in a row for Luke Kraft on the crafty kill.
What an aggressive attack here from this Maryville squad. couple of blocks from the Ball State end, thought that would maybe bring the attack to an end, and it was just back and forth, a really exciting rally from both sides, and credit to the middle blockers on both ends for just keeping it going.
Byra's high-up serve is inbounds once again. And Davosovcheva flies up into the air, levitated to get that kill. It's 23-25. Cardinals 1 point away from set point.
So the Saints, after reaching 20 points for the first time ever against Ball State at least, after that quick answer from Tanashi and Davosovcheva, it got to a 2-point game after it looked like it was going to be all Ball State once again. A good time out there from Coach Haston.
Serve, now Durand is tipping it over, found a spot, but to get there was Cameron Gray, the new libero for the Cardinals. Blocked up front. What a play by a couple of the Maryville Saints. In there may have been Byres Hyam, and I saw Kraft in there as well.
Tremendous dig there by Gray. Unfortunately, Alin could not get that kill attempt over. Back to a 2-point game, so that timeout when it was a 6-point game from Haston looking like it's working wonders, and wondering if a Saint point right here results in a Doan Cruz timeout at the other end.
Durant serves. Cardinals can't get there. Now just have to pass it over. Savitsky Lynn had some space, but played by Durand. And once again, it is a kill for Luke Kraft after that one, throwing his hands up in the air in celebration.
Luke Kraft, can you blame him? What a set he's had here down the stretch. Back to back points, and it's just been all Saints so far. They have had kind of every ball go their way, getting digs that have maybe been a little bit unconventional, but getting it done nonetheless.
Trying to get it done was Rogers. It was blocked and out of bounds just barely. So the Cardinals, regardless at set point, it's 24-22.
Just out of play right there. That would have knotted things up, and the Saints know they just missed an opportunity right there, and instead send this Muncie crowd on their feet with 3 opportunities for set point.
Still in it, but need a defensive stop here. Serve from Savitsky Lynn. Set point in set 2. Set to Scott. Blocked. Out of bounds. This set stays alive. It's 23-24, but Cardinals can still win it with 1 more point.
Crowd stays on their feet for set point, but now bringing to the service line for this Maryville Saints squad is David Fleischer. Haven't seen much of him today. The second time we've seen him at the service line for the senior, the 6'7" guy out of Queen Creek, Arizona. But before all that, we'll have a Ball State timeout, kind of regather things and make sure they don't let the set get away from them more than it already has.
Yeah, they were up big, and they were up big in the first set and didn't let go of it. And this time, things starting to dwindle for them. It's all it is, it's 1 point. I like this timeout from Coach Doan Cruz just to allow his team to take a break and just know they just need 1 receive, 1 good pass, 1 good set, and 1 good kill.
Yeah, and you just need that 1 clean attack that Ball State's been able to deliver all day long, but getting that game point, getting those last 2 points really have been a struggle for this Ball State squad here in the second set. It's been a great answer from this Maryville Saints squad who's been all over the court here towards the end of the second set. Mentioned some remarkable digs that they've had, and they've just been starting to build up that hitting percentage drastically. Now standing at a 276, and that's really just come over the last 10 points or so.
Yeah, a lot of that is because of Luke Kraft on the Saints side of things. This is nothing new. He's got 24 kills on the season, but in their last match against Loyola Chicago, he had 14 kills and 4 blocks, so another good day for him. He has 5 kills early on in this one and 1 block assist.
And that was the other thing I wanted to touch on. It's really been a 2-man show here offensively for this Maryville Saints squad in the early going of the season, with it being Scott and Kraft. And up until these last few moments here, we hadn't seen Kraft do anything, and we thought the left-handed hitting specialist would maybe fool his Cardinals team a little bit, but up until the last few minutes, he was shut down, and now he has turned it on in a big way at a big time.
All of a sudden, the Saints and Kraft have come alive. It's set point and set 2 regardless for the Ball State Cardinals. Back row flying is Tanashi and Devasacheva closing off set 2 in a close one, 25-23, but the Cardinals prevail for their second set 1 in a row.
Just when I thought they were on the ropes, the Maryville Saints have no answer for Tanashi and Devasacheva. Like I mentioned, not many teams will have an answer for that fearsome attack of Tanashi and Devasacheva, slamming it home, killing the set for the Cardinals, and they only need 25 more points to end up victorious here today.
Still a lot of work to do on the Cardinals side, especially considering how valiant the Saints fought in the second half of that second set. We'll have more men's volleyball action provided for you here on SportsLink Digital Radio. After a quick break, we'll be back in a couple of minutes to bring you the third set and what may be the deciding set. Stay tuned.
Ranked number 2 in the nation for sports media by the Broadcast Education Association.
This is Ball State Sports Link.
Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership, and here's why. We stand behind every car we sell and are dedicated to helping our customers save time and money. All our pre-owned cars undergo a rigorous 182-point inspection and come with a 90-day warranty to ensure that you're getting a Victory quality vehicle. Plus, you'll get 2 years of complimentary oil changes and tire rotations. We're part of a top 15 dealership group and have an enormous selection of vehicles with access to inventory at over 45 locations. You always get more for your trade and the best possible rates with us. We have an excellent relationship with hundreds of lenders. Our exclusive Car Doc maintenance and membership program will help you save hundreds of dollars in the process of maintaining your vehicle. Lastly, our state-of-the-art body shop and certified technicians perform high-quality repairs and paint work on most vehicle makes and models. Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU SportsLink.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesweets.hamptoninn.com. At munciesweets.hamptoninn.com.
From the bell tower to your smartphone, anywhere in the world.
Never miss Ball State sports with SportsLink Digital.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
From the bell tower to your smartphone, anywhere in the world.
Never miss Ball State sports with SportsLink Digital.
Vibes are high in Muncie, Indiana. The home team, Ball State Cardinals, had a sweep yesterday in this same arena and one set away from doing it 2 nights in a row. It's been a fun one to watch tonight. The Ball State Cardinals came in and dominated quickly in their first set, winning 25-13, but that second set, oh so close, 25-23.
Yeah, Tyler, that one was as close of a set as you can get it here, and it was just some really exciting volleyball here in that second set. Mentioned the pregame, this is a Maryville team that cannot be taken lightly, and there was a set they were probably going to steal. It was going to be that one, but after seeing that second set, we've seen the Cardinals get reverse sweep once here at Worthen Arena. They hope to avert the disaster once more.
That will all be decided soon. Lucas Machado ready to serve in set number 3. The clock has reset. And we will reset for set number 3.
Set number 3 ready to unfold right here. Lucas Machado behind the service line for the Cardinals, where he's been so hot all season long, looking to do it once more. He's had a great night here tonight, had a great first set, and looking to start the Cardinals off right the way he did in that first set.
And he bounces it and starts off set 3 with the serve. It's a good one. Byres Hyam, back set. And the star from set 2, Kraft, almost got a kill again. The star for the Cardinals almost got a kill. He was celebrating but did not get there. Machado goes to Patterson, back on the Cardinals side. Machado now back set to Rajay Aline. Empty space in the middle of the court, just shot it up into the air and found its way down. 1-0 Cardinals after the Rajay Aline kill.
Pair of remarkable digs there, starting with Lucas Machado, a guy you don't expect to dig balls out on the Ball State side. Then on the other end, there's the libero in Clark digging another really tough ball out. You saw the celebration, thought it had already been a point for Ball State, but getting the point nonetheless after a nice play from Aline.
Scott tipped up front on the other side. Gray back sets to Rogers. This time gets it over the block. Diving play kept up by the Saints. Cross shot kept up by Machado. Couple swings up in the air. A kick coming from Patrick Rogers as he slides. Looks to be okay, but couldn't get it over the net. Cardinals now tied with the Saints 1-1.
I don't know what to say if he would have bicycle kicked that one over the net. I would have had no words. He attempted it, and it was a really good attempt. Unfortunately, the attempt went sideways and into the third row on the sideline.
Would have been incredible, but could not do it. Damas Ocheva now to Machado and Will Patterson, who re-entered the game in this set, making his presence known. 2-1 Cards.
Patterson making his big 6'10" frame known, the tallest player on this Ball State squad, proving it right here and right now in this moment. That's kill number 11 for him on the season.
Number 20, Patrick Rogers, back to serve. Byres Hyam goes to Scott. Cam Gray can't get there defensively, so Scott picks up the kill.
Another kill in this ball game, doing it all on both ends, whether it's defensively or offensively. He's been keeping his team in it, and right now notch it up once more. We're at deuces.
That's 12 kills, and he's hitting a .647 hit percentage right now.
The Saints don't come out on top. It's surely not his fault.
That's right. The serve coming from Kraft off the net, just barely out of bounds, so the Cardinals get the point back. They're up 3-2.
So I mentioned earlier in the second set the amount of errors Kraft had that were extremely uncharacteristic for him, as he's second on the team in kills. And right after I mentioned that, he started to turn things on, and seemingly the first error we've seen from him since. That one coming at the service line, his third of the day.
Just got to heat up once again. We'll see if he can on the moving one. That was Robitou, who on the moving set, and Rajay Aline keeps it over. What a play from Patrick Rogers defensively to get there. But Makai Scott wins the point for his team anyway. What a play by Patrick Rogers, but Scott finishing it off.
What a play, Savitsky Lynn as well, digging that ball out of nowhere. Rogers, then Savitsky Lynn with the save. That one didn't hit the ground. I thought it would have been a challenge if it ended up in a Ball State point, because I thought that one surely hit the ground. Nonetheless, it didn't, but a Saints points nevertheless.
Ball State still playing hard. Rajay Aline again taps it in the middle of the court. Found a lot of success in that area. Another kill for him.
Taps it right there. Thought it may have been a lift right there, but he gets away with it, and the Cardinals will take that point, and it's 4-3 here. Cardinals right back up on top.
Aline will serve to kick things off once again. Spins it. Curled in the air. Byres Hyam to the middle to Robitou. Kill for the middle blocker, Robitou.
Robitou starting to turn things on here in this third set. Started to get things going in a groove towards that second set, but now here in the third set is really where he started to come into his own.
That is for sure. It is Robitou back at the line to serve. A soft one played by Rogers. Machado chases it down to Aline. Blocked. What a play by Lee. Blocked right back into the face of Rajay Aline. It's tied at 4, making it 4-5 now, actually, after the Saints get another one.
Cameron Lee, the senior right there out of Edmond, Oklahoma. Don't see too many athletes out of Oklahoma. See one in the Sports Link department in our very own Jaden Gregston, but not many that you see on the volleyball court here today. The first I've covered in a volleyball match.
Not exactly known as a volleyball state. Tanashi Navasacheva known as a volleyball player, and a good one at that. He gets a kill, tying it up at 5.
And he's doing what he's doing best. Tee time and teeing the ball up on a platter for the defense, but giving them nothing but straight mustard.
In set number 3, it's tied at 5. Could not ask for a better start to this set, and Ocheva goes back to serve. Scott, Byresheim, a joust to the net. One by Byresheim. Rajaleen goes to the middle of the court. This time they're ready defensively. It's Kraft back there. Scott from the back low levitates into the air, but puts it too far out of bounds. Cardinals take another lead, 6-5.
Good lead by the defensive of the Ball State Cardinals. That one's sailing well out of play and heading towards the Code Red dance team right there. So not much of a chance of anyone to get to that ball, and wisely letting it go in a Ball State point.
So when Ocheva will serve once more. Another hard serve from Ocheva, and it's an ace. The air guitar goes from Tanashi and Ocheva, a tradition after he gets a service ace. We've seen a lot. That's his third of the night.
Ace number 3 from Tanashi and Ocheva, one in each set. It's just been impressive watching him at the service lines. Ace number 12 on the year, and thought some fans may have gotten a souvenir, but bounced out and in, back in play.
And it's number 4 for Tanashi and Ocheva. That's 2 aces in a row. What a play from him.
Back-to-back aces. Tanashi and Ocheva went to the right side on that first one, and the second one, fooling the defense. They shifted right, he went left, and resulted in back-to-back aces from T. It is absolutely tea time here at Worthen.
That's 4 on the night for him.
Really got a 5th right there.
Almost did. Could not get down to dig that one, though, in the back row. Ocheva tried to go for it. To no avail. It's 8-6. Saints crawling back into it.
So that'll take Ocheva off the service line after a remarkable run right there and solidifying a Cardinals lead, at least for now, but now at the serving end for the Maryville Saints will be Byresheim.
Byresheim puts it into the net, an area you don't want to be making this late into the set, especially in a close set like this one has been. 9-6, Cardinals lead it.
And a set that's must win for this Maryville team. You need to make sure everything is clicking on all assets, and right there you can't have a critical error like they have. Mentioned that they were probably going to start off a little bit shaky. They did start off shaky in that first set. Starting to play a little bit better in these last 2 sets, but nonetheless, that shaky start dug them a hole.
Lead tips it up as action continues. Rogers, hard hit in the back row, played by the Saints. Byresheim goes to Scott, springs into the air. Machado chases it down. Aline trying to get a kill. Not able to do so, played up by Byresheim. Now Clark sets, moving play attempt, and it is down. None other than Kraft again, putting his name back on the stat sheet.
I think Coach Crew's a little bit displeased with that call right there. Saw some movement on the net. The net's still kind of shaking. Thought there may have been some contact from a player right there. Nonetheless, no whistle was called for someone making contact with the net, ending up later on in the possession with a Maryville point.
Cameron Lee will serve again. He does so. Patterson's kill off the head and out of bounds of one of the Saints players.
And that's a great pass by Machado right there. Had his eyes on Patrick Rogers the entire way, and then at the last second going behind his body and giving it to Will Patterson, who just fools the defense and gets the kill.
Going to have a substitution as we're about to see this serve. It's Ryan Lewis entering the match. He had a great night last night against Lise McCray. 12 kills, 600 hitting percentage, and 5 blocks.
Yeah, you mentioned those 12 kills. The baby giraffe made his presence known last night, the freshman with a huge performance.
The sophomore Lucas Machado serves it into the net. 10-8, this set remains close.
So it's been going back and forth, similar to the last one. Back and forth we go, and it's been the Saints who have been making things competitive and making at least this Cardinals team work a little bit here at home.
Duran up into the air to serve for the Saints. Too far outside, out of bounds. A couple service errors in a row for both teams.
Up and out, and a point for the Cardinals once more. Another error on the end of this Maryville squad. Yet another service error. Their 9th of the ball game.
Not exactly what you want to see. Another service error coming on the Cardinals side. They're still up 2, but can't give this one away.
Error number 6 on the Ball State side in terms of serving. So they've had their aces, their fair share of aces at that. 4 of them coming from Ocheva, 5 total on the game. But now that 5th error to match their total of errors and aces.
This one makes it over the net. Machado, now Rogers flying from the back row. Scott swings at it. Machado handles. Now it's Ocheva finishes off the point with a kill. It's 12-9.
And gets the kill solely off the deflection off the hand of Roberto. But nonetheless, Ocheva will take it, adding on to his terrific day, getting himself into double digits. Now the 2nd player from either side to do it, and the first on the Ball State side to join the double-digit club.
Impressive kill totals for just 3 sets so far. Will Patterson serves. A low one handled by the defense. Blocked up front, Savitsky Lynn gets his big hands up there, making a play in the front row for a block.
Number 6 on the day for Savitsky Lynn. We've mentioned that it's come from all assets of this Ball State offense. 8 kills from Aline, 10 from Ndabuzacheva, 6 from Savitsky Lynn, 6 from Rogers, and 4 from Patterson. This Ball State offense is rolling, and it's not been coming from 1 or 2 people. It's been an all-around effort.
That last one you mentioned went to the service line. Will Patterson put it too far out of bounds. Seen a lot of service errors in this third set.
Been a sloppy third set from both sides at the service line. Right now the Cardinals in the lead, thankfully, because the lack of errors they've made compared to this Maryville side, but still been a little bit sloppy on both ends.
High serve coming from the Saints. High kill attempt from Ryan Lewis, his first swing at it in this match. Mentioned how good he was last night, trying to get back on track.
And one of the taller guys on the court as well, standing at 6'9". You understand why he has that baby giraffe nickname. And he towers over the net and towers over the opposition. You saw that last night in his 12-kill performance.
Machado goes back to Lewis. This time it works off the couple of the hands of the Saints. It's a kill for the freshman Ryan Lewis.
So different libero out there for the Saints. This time it's number 3, White Mountain. And White Mountain just got a hand on there. Thought that one may have gone out of play, but nonetheless, Lewis will get the kill, his first of the ball game. And he only needs 11 more to catch up to his total from last night.
Yeah, a lot of work to do. We'll see if he can get there. He serves it. Lee tried to go for the kill. Too soft and handled. Now a set. Kraft, same spot across court kill, gives a bit of a scream. He's been so consistent.
Kraft has really been turning it on. We mentioned the crafty play of him all day long, and what an effort it has been, at least in the latter half of the second set, and here in this third set, really starting to turn things on.
That effort leading to a 14-12 score. His Saints still down, a rotation coming. Robotu heads to the bench, and incoming to serve is Jake Usher for his first time.
Kraft, one of the 5 in-state guys from Missouri on this Maryville team, and proven why Coach Haston has wanted to keep those guys in-state and keeping those talented Missouri guys home.
Usher serves. A knuckleball up into the air. Machado just poked by Savitsky Lynn, nearly gets it to work. Now back onto their side. Pitlack goes to Machado, who goes to Ndabuzacheva, who goes for a kill. 15-12, Cardinals are up.
Another day, another kill by Tinashe and Ndabuzacheva. We saw that one coming, but how about before that, the kill attempt from Brady Savitsky Lynn, pulling a page out of the Vanis Buckles book. We've seen that numerous times where Buckles will go up with one hand, fake, then go up with the other. Trying to do the same was Savitsky Lynn. Unfortunately, could not result in the point. Cardinals get the point anyway and win the race to 15.
Win the race to 15, which means we go to the media timeout. Maybe one of the last opportunities we have to take a break because it's been so back and forth. So we'll stay and chat about what's next for both of these teams. Let's start with the Cardinals. What's next for them on their schedule?
Next for them, they got a series against Tusculum. It's a Tusculum team they saw last year. Tusculum ranked pretty high in the Division II, Division III level, so it'll be another lower-level competition game for this Ball State team where hopefully they can test out some depth and really prove some things as they start to get into conference play.
And then they get into conference play right after that, so it's an important time in the season for them. Now how about for the Saints?
Now for the Saints, they're flipping things over, and for their season, they're playing Brescia University, and that's a quick turnaround. So after not playing for 13 days, only 3 days of rest, and they're right back to it on Monday.
Right back to it, then play against McKendree and Lindenwood, 2 teams that are in Ball State's Conference of the MIVA. Now speaking of conferences, the Maryville Saints have been playing as an independent team for a couple of seasons now, but will officially enter the conference in the 25-26 season. In the spring of 2026, they'll be entering the Great Lakes Valley Conference, and that's new for them to be a part of that, but also a former MIVA team, the Quincy, will be joining that conference, so a couple of MIVA connections into next year.
I've seen plenty of MIVA connections and Ball State connections between these 2 squads, and you mentioned earlier in the broadcast this Maryville team's playing 7 MIVA opponents, and now they're going to get really familiar with Quincy being one of them, facing them every year now in their conference.
Game gets back underway, and Patrick Rogers gets back to work. It's a kill for him right out of the break.
Right out of the timeout, and not flustered at all and not taking his pedal off the metal. What a play there from Patrick Rogers to go right back up and right back into it for a Ball State point, extending their lead to 4.
Now it's Ndabuzacheva at the service line, has 4 service aces today, career high of 6 aces in a match. He's nearing that. set in the middle. Duran went at it. Now the Cardinals have an opportunity. And Dawasocheva shoots up in the back row and finds another kill. 17-12, the current score. Cardinals up.
Do it all, Tanashi and Dawasocheva. That hit percentage well over 500 now. His 12th kill, and you mentioned the 4 aces as well. Going back to the service line, but he may need a little bit more ball game in order to get that record for aces in his career. Don't know if he's going to get that amount of ball game that he needs in order to get it. But if he gets some aces here, you never know.
Yeah, I was going to say, it comes out of nowhere, so you just never know. He gets the reception defensively. Savitsky Lin got there. He went for the pancake. Looked like he got under it, but a whistle is blown. We'll see if anyone decides to take a look at that one. What'd you think?
I looked like it may have got his hand, but it was so tough to tell with the color of the wood and his hand being so similar. We'll take a look at it right here on the scoreboard. Obviously, you guys can't see it. It looked like that one definitely caromed off his hand. I don't think that's a play that Coach Cruz can look at because whistle was blown dead right away, and you'd have to just kind of start from scratch and call it a no play. So right now some questions being asked on the Ball State end, and I think we're just going to stick with the call on the court.
Coach Jonah Cruz looked to his setter Lucas Machado to see what to do. Seemingly told him not to. So Coach Cruz waved the hand and said, that's okay. We're still up 17-13.
You know, the Saints team, they were down 6 points in the last sets, down 17-11, and the Cardinals came storming right back.
Lucas Machado over the head, kill attempt at the setter position. You never know what he's going to do up there. This time picks up a kill.
The second of the ball game, and you mentioned he's averaging over a kill per set, and that's been the biggest aspect of where he's improved this season has been his ability to kill and been able to get points for the Cardinals at portions where teams and his teammates will least expect it.
And that takes us to another timeout, this one called by Maryville. Once again, 18-13 is the score as it stands, and this Maryville team is no stranger to playing difficult opponents. They played, as we talked about, a lot of MIVA schools, a lot of ranked schools, just a couple of years into their existence. What does that do for a team that's trying to develop some culture?
Well, I think you've seen it in their development. I mean, they played Ball State a couple years ago. They've played a lot of top-ranked and local opponents to them, especially those teams that are highly ranked in Illinois with Loyola and Lewis. And I think playing those teams as well as a team like Lindenwood that's in-state, only 30 minutes down the road from them, you have, well, Maryville is known as St. Louis's only men's volleyball team in Division I. Lindenwood's right down the road, only 30 minutes in St. Charles, so you have that kind of inner-city rivalry. So having that and facing off against these MIVA opponents that are highly ranked, that are maybe a little bit more competitive, maybe have some higher-ranked recruits than you, but when you keep it competitive against these teams, it just sets you up for so much success when you're facing some of those similar opponents that you have, that you're just so much prepared to be ready for anything that's coming at you because of everything that you saw against these top 10, top 15 opponents throughout the course of the non-conference season. When you get to that conference season, or for them, they don't technically have a conference season until next year. When they get to that point, it only builds your program stronger and stronger and stronger, and it's only going to want to make better recruits come to your program when you're playing those bigger teams and when you're keeping it close and maybe even beating those bigger teams down the road.
I love that from you. This is an opportunity for growth for both sides, especially so early in the season. Got to hand it to the Saints for staying in this one. Xander Pink enters the game to serve again. His third time coming in. Back row flyer is away. Now back to the Maryville Saints side of things. Blocked by Lucas Machado. Now set back row, this time to Scott. Diving for it was Ryan Lewis, could not get there, so the kill goes to the Saints.
Hey, Xander Pink got a pretty nice ovation there for what was his second dig of the year. He was able to fly in there, couldn't get the dig to turn into points, but nonetheless, you see Xander Pink having a big impact and firing up his bench.
That's exactly what they need to continue to do. Still up 4 points as 18-14 is the score. But it is the Saints to serve. It's Lee. Going to Rogers. Back to Rogers on the kill attempt. Off the block, played. What a good play in the back row by Clark. Now this has to be tapped over on the offensive side. Dawasocheva again, sneaking out from the back row, coming out of nowhere and getting a point for his team.
And a great play from Dawasocheva right there, and just hammering the game away and hoping that could be what is needed for the finishing touches to hopefully all but put this game away. Only 6 points needed for the Cardinals, up 19-14.
Approaching that potential conclusion, but trying to stop it are the Saints, led by Makai Scott, who picks up another one.
There's the libero in the red jersey of Cameron Gray, who cannot get to that one, and you're looking back at some of their previous matchups for Maryville, and I'll tell you what, Ball State coming out in their black jerseys today, I'm very thankful Maryville did not wear their black jerseys again today like they did against Loyola.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Going and watching that broadcast back, both teams were wearing their black uniforms. Less confusing for us calling the game today.
Makes it a little bit easier for us.
Now a new player entering the game. Sabralski served, but Patrick Rogers ended that point right away with a kill.
Sabralski getting his first action of his college career right there. The freshman out of Indianapolis, Indiana. So a little bit of a homecoming for him as well. About 45 minutes to an hour up the road in Indy.
Just yet another connection between both of these teams. Went to Franklin Central High School.
He had 820 kills in his career at Franklin Central. Was a very impressive player. Also had 525 digs and 111 aces. So did it on all aspects of the court, and Maryville is thrilled to have him on their roster for the next 4 years.
They sure are. He often comes in to serve. As he is just still a freshman, we'll see more of him, I'm sure, in the future at the outside position. He's one of the players in on a conversation right now, trying to figure things out. Two conversations right now going on at the court on both sides of things. The Cardinals still trying to keep the energy up while the Maryville Saints looked a bit confused.
No, I'm sure nonetheless here in this moment for Sabralski, I mean, this is a huge moment for him. I mean, he's coming back home. He's getting to play his first volleyball action in the NCAA, and he gets to come back home to do it. I'm sure his family is here in attendance watching him, and they're so ecstatic to see him get in here for the first time for collegiate action.
Really would like to think that, and we're going to see if he stays on the court. Looked like he may have been part of a substitution after the serve. He is. It's the former Ball State Cardinal, Kevin Duran, who goes in and heads right back out behind him. And who will enter the game is the middle blocker, A.J. Robitou.
Now sent to the service line, Patrick Rogers. So after a bit of an extended delay, Rogers has been ready. The Rutherford, New Jersey native, obviously East Rutherford, the home of MetLife Stadium. Seen a couple of connections with that. Joe Nicometto, who is not yet to play in this ballgame, is from Buffalo, New York, more specifically Orchard Park, the home of the Bills. So a couple of guys who are familiar with those New York football teams and staying right in the backyard of the pro football stadiums.
And you won't often see those players come to Midwestern schools to play volleyball, but we got a couple of them here tonight.
And Nicometto, a huge Bills fan growing up. He's making the trip, the 3-hour drive from Maryville all the way to Kansas City, hoping to see his Bills take down the Chiefs this weekend.
Should be an interesting one between those two matchups. For him, obviously got to hope it goes that way. The Chiefs have been so dominant, just as the Cardinals have been tonight. Other than the end of set 2, they've really maintained control of this one. At times in set 3, it looked like the Saints may come back, but Cardinals are up 5 and only 5 away from winning the match.
5 away from winning the match with that 5-point lead. What do you think Coach Donen-Cruz is saying to his squad, trying to express what they have to do to win and get these final 5 points?
I would imagine not too much. At this point in the match, you kind of have established your tone and your tempo. Just let the players lead. Good teams and the best teams, let their players go out and have conversations and figure things out. They've been doing most things right ever since they walked back onto the court for set number 3.
And this team, while they also have a ton of personalities on this team and are just one of the more exuberant teams on this campus, they have a lot of leaders on this team as well. They have a lot of guys that just naturally lead and are leaders not only for the team but on campus as well. So you're seeing those guys right here in the later moments of this game doing what they do best and hopefully getting another Cardinal win here down the stretch.
Yet to be decided, but Patrick Rogers has played a big impact on that. He serves. Back row play from Clark to get it. Tapped over. Machado has to go down to dig that one. Now Gray passes it to Lewis. Off the block. Nearing the ground. And a swing and nearly a miss. Just got a bit of a piece of it, but not enough to get it past the Cardinals' defense. It's a block for 3 players up front.
It's tough enough to get it past 6'10" Will Patterson by himself, but adding Tanashi and Dalvazocheva and Ryan Lewis to that mix as well, making it nearly impossible to get it past the triple block, and only 4 points needed for the Cardinals.
Nearly impossible to return that serve from Rogers, but it's able to be done. Now Gray, a good pass. Lewis outside has a shot for a kill, and he succeeds.
Lewis, second kill in the ball game after his 12-kill performance. The baby giraffe rising above everybody and sticking the ball over the necks of the opponent.
Couple of giraffe references from you in there. Love to hear it. Cardinals fans loving it as well in Worthen. Rogers serves. Clark goes at it. Byris Heim to Scott. Haven't seen as much of him in this set. Back set to Indavasocheva. Seen a lot of him and continue to do so as he adds another point and another kill to his team's resume.
There's Cameron Lee, who tried to get the dig right there. Already has a few in this ball game and got to the double-digit dig marker earlier in the ball game, but that one just threw his hands, really couldn't do much about it. And no Saint has really had anything to do about it when it comes to Tanasio Indavasocheva's kill attempts.
So it's 23-15, now 24-15. Not exactly an ace for Patrick Rogers, but the same effect.
Yeah, same effect, right up and down from Will Patterson. The quick return, the quick answer. The Cardinals are at match point.
Match point indeed. 24-15. Rogers serves it. It's a low serve, but recovered. Straight shot out of bounds, looking for a tip. It does go in the way of the Saints, so they stay alive with a score of 24-16. Serving, but can't let this one go.
Cardinals ready to celebrate the W right there, but nonetheless, the fans will stay on their feet, anxious for that final point, having to wait at least one more rally for it to come.
Luke Kraft, who's been great tonight, the last hope for the Saints. Throws it high and serves. It's over, and Indavasocheva goes at it. Machado back row to Patrick Rogers, who takes it out. That's the match, and it's finished off by Patrick Rogers. Final score of 25-16. Patrick Rogers picks up another kill. That's 9 for him tonight after an impressive performance.
An impressive performance all around from the Ball State Cardinals. Aline with 8 kills, Tanasio Indavasocheva with 14, 9 from Rogers, as you just mentioned, 5 from Patterson, 5 from Savitsky Lynn, and it was 3 from Machado as well, so he had one in each set, but it was the serving play from Tanasio Indavasocheva with 4 aces. That was extremely impressive, and the errors and the hitting percentage that really cost the Saints today.
Just knew that the Saints could not make many mistakes coming into this one if they wanted to pick up enough sets to win the match, and the Cardinals came out a little slow. They were making mistakes of their own and started to really find their rhythm as things got on. That rhythm results in a 3-set sweep, and that's 2 nights in a row the Cardinals can go home early after winning 3 sets consecutively.
And you love nothing more. You had a 9-game homestand. It's still 9-game homestand that's ongoing, but now you have a couple more opponents coming in before you got conference play starting with Tusculum, and then you got your conference play opening up. But this is how you wanted to respond after the rough start to the homestand. You had a 2-0 set lead against BYU in the first game, a 2-1 set in the second game, and you couldn't close either of those games out. You want to just come home, come back, and just play your best brand of volleyball and really put a statement on the opposition and prove why you're one of the best teams in the country.
They definitely did do that tonight. A huge statement in both of the matches this week. As the PA announcer says, see you next week. The Cardinals will be back here. You mentioned that long homestand that they do have. Play again versus Tusculum on the 30th of January. So for those around Muncie, try and get here on that day. And if you can't, make sure to tune in here on SportsLink Digital Radio. We're going to take a little bit just to wrap things up once again. Let's start on the Maryville side of things. Didn't get the result they wanted tonight, but they had some good performers out there. Mackay Scott, 17 kills. We talked about what Kraft was able to do later on in that. What do they need to do moving forward to try and build that confidence that they started to get towards the end of the match today?
Well, they started to get that momentum. Obviously, Scott is an incredible player, and they are so grateful to have him as a sophomore on that roster and just hopefully be there for the foreseeable future as a foreseeable Saint. And he had a performance that everybody can feed off of. When one guy has that type of performance, it kind of feeds off in the rest of the locker room for other guys that want to have that performance, especially in an environment like this. And as they get into conference play or get into more fair level play, that's going to come with this Maryville team. I think the other thing to see with them as well is they've been a 2-man show. It's been Kraft and it's been Scott all season long. So as the season goes on, they're going to start searching for that depth. Who else on that team can really start to come through and really be a prolific blocker, be a prolific attacker, and get things done that they need to on the offensive end, because there's a little bit of kinks that they need to figure out, but I feel like with time it's going to come for a really young program in Maryville, who's already off to a really good start for how young of a program they are. 0-3 start this year is not what they envisioned, but obviously playing 3 ranked opponents to start off your season is not also the envisionment they had either.
Really is a bright future ahead of this program. A lot to look forward for Mike Haston and his crew, and a lot to look forward to for the Cardinals, especially if you're around in the area to come and watch these matches. Should be some good ones as we near conference play. The Cardinals last year in their non-conference had a record of 8-6. This season they are now 5-3, so ahead of that pace. After the 3 matches in a row, the Cardinals have bounced back in a big way with 2 sweeps in 2 days. Thank you all for joining us on this edition of SportsLink Digital Radio presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. Sam, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Tyler. I had a lot of fun here. Enjoyed this one thoroughly. It was one that we expected the Cardinals to come out on top of, but expected it to be very competitive. Expected some fireworks in this one. That second set was everything we expected and more, and the performance from Malachi Scott was also what we expected more. Some really fun stuff, some really fun volleyball here today in Muncie.
Another good one here in Worthen Arena. For Sam Egan, I am Tyler Klimes, and this is SportsLink Digital Radio presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. Thank you for listening today, and make sure to stay tuned for any of our future broadcasts. We'll be back with more broadcasts for you all soon. Thanks for tuning in.
This has been a production of SportsLink Digital Radio.